J6 pipe bomber and justice for Russia gate. It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Monday, November 10th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. You can follow us throughout the day on Telegram. Just do a search for our new Telegram channel if you've got the Telegram app. Otherwise, go to t.me/5 in 10 or follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And again, we'll keep you up to date throughout the day. Item number 5 today is Al-Qaeda at the White House. Ahmad al-Shara, the self-appointed interim president of Syria, is at the White House meeting with President Trump today. This is an amazing turn of events for anyone who's been watching the history of Syria, especially since its civil war began back in 2011. Just until 3 days ago, Friday, he was an international terrorist with a $10 million bounty on his head from the U.S. government. Well, it would have been awkward for him to show up at the White House with that bounty on his head, so that was removed on Friday. But the White House is now hoping that Syria will formally join the fight against ISIS, which al-Shara's own former militia, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, opposed during the final years of the 14-year civil war in Syria. In fact, statement from Syria today announced that a number of ISIS militants were rounded up by Syrian security forces and that some of them had been planning assassination attempts on al-Shara. Whether that's true or just for show remains to be seen, but al-Shara may sign a formal agreement with President Trump while at the White House today, which would be their third meeting to date to cooperate on counterterrorism. Again, highly symbolic moment, really a 180-degree turn from where things stood between the U.S. and Syria through most of its recent history. By the way, Reuters reporting that the United States preparing to establish a military base at an air base in Damascus. This would help the United States to monitor a security agreement between Syria and Israel, but would also give the U.S. a military presence in Syria, where Russia, until recently, had a military base at Latakia, which is on the coast. Now, again, how far will al-Shara go and how much power does he actually wield over some of his militia units? Remember, over the past year, we've seen those units going after Christians and Druze and Alawites, who are a sect of Shia Islam, in various parts of the country. So it remains to be seen whether he's living up to his promises or will live up to his promises, but at the very least, it threatens to drive a wedge between Lebanon in the west and Iran in the east, the Shia crescent that Iran was creating to encircle Israel. Item number 4 today, J6, a new forensic analysis into the January 6th pipe bomb case has concluded that a former U.S. Capitol police officer, the gait of this officer, in other words, the unique walk, which can be analyzed apparently through forensic analysis using artificial intelligence and video, found this to be about a 94 to 98% match to the unique stride of the pipe bomb suspect. This is reported by Blaze Media. The identity of this person is former U.S. Capitol Police Officer Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, a high probability match to the pipe bomb suspect seen on surveillance video on January 5th of 2021. Now, Kirchhoff was with the Capitol Police Force for 4.5 years before she left in the middle of 2021 for a position with the CIA, described as campus security. Whether that means the CIA campus is unclear. I presume that that's what it means. Anyway, this gait analysis software was applied to video of higher quality than what was released by the FBI. Apparently, the FBI downsampled the frame rate of the video that was released to the public so that it appeared jerkier and was more difficult for this type of forensic analysis. Well, this potentially changes the narrative of what happened on January 6th of 2021 because it was the discovery of pipe bombs or alleged pipe bombs at a couple of locations just as things were heating up on the Capitol Mall, the National Mall, that drew law enforcement resources away from the United States Capitol just before the doors were opened and selfie-taking hooligans wandered into the United States Capitol. this is one of the questions that has remained unanswered over the last nearly 5 years. Why has the FBI not been able to make any headway in this case? And what about the mysterious handling of the bombs? Surveillance footage later released by U.S. Representative Thomas Massie, a Republican from Kentucky, showed Secret Service agents responding very slowly after they were told a device was found at Democratic National Committee headquarters. Agents remained in their vehicle eating lunch for another 2 minutes before getting out of the car to investigate, and then allowing pedestrians, cars, and passenger trains to pass near the spot of the alleged pipe bomb without cordoning off the area. I mean, look, if you think there's an actual bomb there, would you not try to minimize potential human loss of life by keeping people away from the area? But that's not what happened on the security. Almost as though the Secret Service knew the bomb was not real, or at very least was a dud. So, many questions now to be answered if, in fact, this analysis proves to be accurate. But again, experts who've looked at this, according to Blaze Media, 94 to 98% match with a former Capitol Hill police officer now in the employment of the CIA. Item number 3 today, justice for Russiagate. Fox News reports that 3 grand jury subpoenas were issued Friday for John Brennan, Peter Strzok, and Lisa Page. Names that kind of dropped out of the news over the last few years, but we'll refresh your memory. John Brennan was the CIA director during Russiagate who created the fraudulent intelligence community assessment that Russia had impacted the results of the 2016 presidential election. Strzok was the lead FBI counterintelligence agent in charge of Crossfire Hurricane, which is the investigation into links between the Russian government and the Trump campaign. Page was a former DOJ lawyer assigned to FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and, oh yes, Peter Strzok's lover. Strzok and Page both worked with the Clinton email investigation. You remember Hillary Clinton with her own private email server that was later scrubbed, bleach-bitted, and, no consequences. And also the Trump-Russia investigation. Fox News reports that up to 30 grand jury subpoenas are anticipated to be served on former government officials involved in either Russiagate or Spygate. So this could get interesting, but whether anyone actually serves any time or is to just get a few low-level officials thrown under the bus remains to be seen. The deep state takes care of its own. Topic number 2, same-sex marriage. The Supreme Court today, Monday, turned away a long-shot attempt to overturn the 2015 ruling that legalized same-sex marriage in all 50 of these United States. Without comment, the Supreme Court justices rejected an appeal brought by Kim Davis, former county clerk in Kentucky, who was sued in 2015 for refusing to issue a marriage license because of her opposition to same-sex marriage based on religious beliefs. Her latest appeal in the case, which was brought this year, had attracted attention that this court could overturn the 2015 same-sex marriage decision, Obergefell v. Hodges, given that back in 2022, the court overturned the abortion rights decision, Roe v. Wade, but such is not the case. Same-sex marriage remains the law of the land here in the United States of America. Coming up, sounds like a joke. A Thai, 2 Latvians, and a Spaniard walk into a church. You'll never guess what happened next.
This is how we're going to raise a remnant, a body of Christ that's going to stand in the gap for these kids that are voiceless. These kids have no voice. They have no champion. We're going to change that. The book, Innocent Shattered, it points out the malevolent industries that are exploiting our children. It gets into how in the world, Alan, these kids can be coming up missing without a chain of custody. If you were to ask me, Joe Horn, with all the years that you've been working with children, and you've looked into the eyes of those that have been absolutely devastated, ravaged by abuse from malevolent people who have taken pleasure in the screams of terror exhaled, innocence completely stripped before it's even had a chance to find its calling. I believe that that is precisely why Lucifer has waged this war on children in particular, because if they never find why God put them here, he intercepts and snuffs out another warrior for the kingdom. Kids that have experienced this have experienced a lot of it at the malevolent hands of people that are evil. These are people that have given themselves over to Luciferian powers. These are people that take delight in the suffering of children. The average, based on the most intelligent aggregators of information that we have in the United States right now, place it at about 11 to 12 children per day from foster care alone, not the vast population of kids growing up in homes where they haven't been removed yet or coming up missing. No clue where they've gone, they're just gone. Many who will end up being classified as runaway. People feel stirred by it. They want to support you, but they themselves don't feel that they have what it takes to endure barrage after barrage of just the worst parts of humanity. It's in the book, Innocence Shattered. There is a ton of beautiful information, and people just aren't seeing it for the most part because they're not taking the chance. There is an appendix that goes on and on and on about some of the most beautiful ways that people can intervene. And I'm talking anybody, Alan. I don't care if you're grandmother on a pension. I don't care if you're a man that has billions of dollars in land. There is something rather more than just anecdotal praying once a week that you can throw at this. And it is available in this book. Again, a series of thought exercises that help guide the reader through the process of giving God your yes and a belief in how you really, really can make a difference. Wow. So yes, it's an ugly conversation that almost nobody wants to have, but it's the responsibility of the church to have it because we can't wait for the world to do it. The Holy Spirit can show up in a supernatural way and do things for these children that nothing else can do. It's a supernatural battle, and it is time for the church to say enough. Not one more kid in a dog cage, not one more kid out there lost, not one more child not being fed today, not on my watch.
Item number 1 today, a Thai, 2 Latvians, and a Spaniard walk into a church, and a liberal German pastor says, "I now pronounce you man and man and man and man." Seriously. This is one of the largest branches of the German Protestant church, and she is being defended by that branch of the church after she blessed a relationship between 4 men as, quote, a marriage in the eyes of God, end quote. They're calling it a polycule, P-O-L-Y-C-U-L-E, polycule. They attended a pop-up wedding festival at St. Paul the Apostle Church in Berlin, part of a program of offering free blessings for couples who wished to avoid lengthy formalities. Pastor Lena Muller, the youth pastor for the Berlin and Brandenburg region of the Protestant Church, said the relationship consisted of 2 Latvians, a Thai, and a 4th man, and she thought was Spanish. She said they spoke English when they were with one another and seemed very happy together. Quote, "You could see right away there was so much love between them. Why should God have anything against there being 4 of them rather than 2, end quote. Kind of because Jesus, who is God, if you're a Trinitarian, said that marriage was, a man and a woman. God also had some things to say about this in Leviticus 18:22, Leviticus 20, verse 13, Romans 1, verses 26 and 27. And that's even setting aside the fact that polygamy is illegal in Germany. But as you notice from the image there, the pastor, I guess unsurprisingly, has pink hair. And given that she wears what appears to be a crocodile as a stole over her pastoral vestments, I'm guessing that she's not taking guidance from higher authority too seriously. This week on Skywatch TV, we continue our discussion with Joe Ardis Horn about his new book, Innocence Shattered. I sat in the big chair for the program, and it was an honor to do so because this is a very important topic. Please don't miss these programs about Joe's book, and take advantage of the special offer to get the book and the 6-part docu-series Rescue Us, about children at risk. It's not something that happens elsewhere in third world nations. It's happening in your neighborhood. The program is available right now at skywatchtv.com. You can watch it over the air, our broadcast schedule at skywatchtv.com/channels. We can broadcast on your schedule just by adding the Skywatch TV channel to your smart TV or set-top box. That would be Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, Google TV or Android TV. We've got versions for all of those. Just go to the App Store, install the Skywatch TV channel, and then all of our video content will be available right there on your big screen. You can watch us on the internet as well, youtube.com/@skywatchtelevision, rumble.com/skywatchtv, or please download our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet, which is a good idea because it guarantees we never get canceled. And it is this particular topic that has gotten us canceled on major video sharing platforms 3 times now. Makes you wonder. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire devices. It is free, and we've got links to their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Follow 5 in 10 online. Please follow us on Telegram, our channel there, 5 in 10, on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10, and of course on YouTube. The address there at 5 in 10. If you would, please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit the like button, and leave your comments below. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.